In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install LED flashing. This was the old flashing that was installed into this extension. Poorly done, and there was bits missing. The first thing I need to do is remove this old flashing. It wasn't hard because it was barely stuck into the wall, and they'd used some old, either cork or something, but as you can see, no bombs, not correctly installed. So probably the hardest bit about this day was getting rid of all this. I had to scrape it with a knife and keep doing. But obviously if you're in a fresh wall, then it'd be fine. You'd be doing your chase with a grinder, ready to install the flashing. So the next step was to check the minimum cover on the tiles. We want to make sure our LED can cover this. So if you put your tape measure up to your chase and then find the natural bend, that's where you want to be bending your LED. So in this instance, 120mm, where I'm showing there. So this means when we come to our LED, 120 will be the mark. And I just wanted to quickly check that the LED I had was long enough, so I got 12" or 300mm, which was adequate. So now you've got your chase all ready to go, comes the LED time. So I've got this bench that I've made up in the back of the van. If you get anything solid to work off, something nice and flat, these are tools we'll be using. You've obviously got LED snips, standard bolster, these are hall clips. You can use LED bombs, so small bits of LED folded up to hold the LED into the chase. And there's a few dressers today, we won't be needing that one or that one. And obviously your LED. Patinational. So now we've determined that 12" LED will be enough LED to give us a correct upstand and cover on the tiles. Then we want to cut it to 1.5 meters in length. That's the longest you want to go in code for. If you go longer, then obviously the LED starts to move and you can end up with splits and cracking in the LED. So once done that, I like to, now I've got a nice square edge, drag it over to get your first bit in. We want 25mm going into the wall, so I just have my tape measure on the end. Set one side 25, check the middle 25, and then the wall 25. Just check it at the end. Once you've set that to correct on, I like to just one end over, and I'll come back to my first end and dress this over, and then I'll work along, making sure that that stays tight each time. I find that by doing this on one end first, it stops the LED from moving, because you might start with 20 with this end and by the time you get up there you got 35mm, and that's no good. Get that to a nice, and that'll do for your first chase that will go into the wall. Then we've checked in the both sides of the chase and in the middle that it's 120mm upstand. So what I'll do is mark 120 either end just to check. Then again I'll turn the LED over. We'll flip it around for this. So again we want 120mm. And then you just want to bend it down. The angle of the roof will determine how much you need to bend this, so the steeper, the less you'll need to bend. I find that the less dressing and tapping you can do, the better. Less dense, LED will look nicer. Then what I'll do is with this dresser, out the flat, I'll slightly angle it up there, so you're not, this bit of dresser is not damaging your LED, and dress it along that way, and it just gives you a nice straight edge And that's one bit done. Then I'll give it a coat of patination oil. I think you can never have enough. Patination oil will protect the lead, stop it going all white. You'll see sometimes lead have all white smear marks. Make sure you get it all on top of the chase, where the lead's going to go in the wall too. Fine, if you don't oil it straight away, if it gets wet outside, obviously it will start marking up straight away. But if you just dress it once it's in the wall, sometimes you don't get deep into here, and then that makes, if the water, if it gets in there or you get it, sometimes you start getting smear marks come down. So lead will look nice for a while, and all of a sudden you have your white marks come back, which is not what we want. We want it looking fresh to death. See where I've been doing this a while now, you can see the angle of my bend is quite similar to the roof. You can, when starting off, just get a sliding bevel to make sure that you're bending it accurately. Now you've got your lead formed. Upstand that was required 120. You've got enough covered there for the tiles. You'll be into the wall. So you want 150mm cover on each one. Let's do a little line on there, 150. Then just offer it up to it. Slide it in gently. Let's just take that over to the 150 mark. Then the minimal tapping if you can. You don't want to start dressing everything like mad because you just start getting dents against the brick. Then you've got your haul clips. H upwards. I like to put these every about 400mm. So we don't have the same issue there before where they just keep falling out. Now if you've got all your measurements right now, that should all just go in there nicely. Put another 2 in there quickly. So if the chase is too big, you can get some extra large ones of these. If not, you're going to have to use bombs, where you just got to make them bigger with a lead. I'll probably leave that until the next one goes on. So now we've done that, we'll go along, do all that. So now I've got to start dressing. Because the Profiles tile, you just got holes here where things will get in. So again, I just think minimal. Some people would dress this right up, but I just think minimal is the best. So then with this end bit, we want to try and dress it down to cover the side. Obviously a bit hard to film here, but if you start from this corner, just working it. Keep going between. So there you'll see, just now it's just dressed down there. So we're just carrying along, doing each one of these. So now it's dressed in the whole way along. I'll now come back along it with the lead mastic. Get me trusty pillow. Got this off a wheelchair in a skip about 2 years ago. Best thing I've ever had. Right. So now I'll just go along, I'll give it all another little coat, give it another wipe along there. Obviously this bit's just masticing. The more coats you can do with this to start off with, the better. But so we're gonna give that a coat, and then now you can do this with sand cement. If it's an old property with a nice bit of lime mortar, then you'll probably want to, but lead sealant, it's a lot more flexible, and I prefer using it now. Basically just same as you see anything. You want to pump it right in, so you want to make sure it's all fill up in there. I like to do it so it's just behind the brickwork, because otherwise you can get in a bit of a mare. Obviously the chase will change. I didn't do this chase, it was here already. I've tried to clean it up the best I can, but I like to try and keep it just behind the brickwork. And then take gloves off for this. I just find you get a bit of mastic lead patination on your finger, and it slides enough, but and then wipe it off. And then with your lead rag, just go along it to clean that corner off. I find that if you keep it just behind the brick, then you don't get this all smeared. It fills it up plenty, but if you go too much, as you do, it just starts going, the bricks goes everywhere. It's a nightmare. Go across that, and then any bits loose a bit, I'll tack down, but then we're all done. So here's the final product, all dressed in, all lead mastic applied, all done, and the cushion. Lovely jubbly. So yeah, if you've got any other questions about lead work or any other roofing bits, then just drop me a message. I'm going to be making a few more videos to help out people. Thanks for watching.